What's up, YouTubers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. So I figured, you know what, going back, looking at all this Hunt for Wolverine stuff, and one of the questions that kept always popping up, people just kept constantly asking me, and even some defiantly telling me that when Wolverine died, there was no way he could possibly die because he had his healing factor, and it made me realize many people didn't actually know the circumstances surrounding Wolverine's death. So here I am to make a video about it. Time to milk that content cow. But before we get started, if this is your first time checking out my channel and you want to see more awesome videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click. But anyways, let's start off with the first order of business, and that is the fact that yes, please understand that Wolverine at this particular point in the publication history did not have a healing factor. As of 2013-2014, there was no healing factor for Wolverine. It was gone. Both Beast and Mr. Fantastic, ostensibly the smartest men on the planet, confirmed it. The healing factor was 100% eradicated by a sentient microverse virus that he contracted during Paul Cornell's run on Wolverine that led up to this point. And even though Wolverine still has his super strength, his athleticism, and all the other mutant powers that, you know, kind of came part and parcel with the healing factor, he still has a whole other host of problems to deal with since he doesn't have that anymore. Because you gotta remember, the healing factor is actually what kept the adamantium on his bones from poisoning his body. Even Mr. Fantastic points out that, yes, his bones have been irradiated, especially thanks to the fact that he was there at Nagasaki when the bombs went off. Not only that, he is a high candidate for heavy metal leukemia, and he also is likely to contract endocarditis thanks to all the harmful bacteria that constantly gets into his system every time he makes those claws go snicked. The other problem that he has is that everyone in the Marvel Universe knows his healing factor is gone. I'll spare you all the gory details as far as like all the particular comings and goings of this book, but I will tell you, along the way, Wolverine faces a veritable murderer's row of Marvel supervillains, ranging from Nuke to Viper to Sabretooth to Deathstrike, and eventually Ogun, as he tries to figure out who the hell is going through so much trouble and spending so much money to capture him alive. Ogun, this Chris Claremont Al Milgrom creation who made his first appearance in Kitty Pryde and Wolverine #1 back in 1984, just so happens to be the guy with the hot tip. Ogun started out as a ninja warrior, oddly enough, who once trained Wolverine during the Second Sino-Japanese War, which would place them somewhere around the time period of 1937 to 1945, so it was somewhere in that time frame. But his powers have never truly been defined as far as their origin goes, but just know that Ogun has a physical prowess that's good enough to make him more than a match for Wolverine, and he is capable of possessing other people's bodies by putting his actual spirit inside them at will. He also seems to have some form of mind control as well, and during his time as a Yakuza enforcer, he kidnapped Kitty Pryde, possessed her body, put her through some form of mental reinforcement or brainwashing technique, and trained her to be a ruthless ninja assassin, until Wolverine stepped in and saved her. Needless to say, Kitty don't like the guy. Now, of course, Wolverine has to deal with some body jacking shenanigans between Ogun and Kitty Pryde in order to get this information, but he does get the information. So now that Wolverine knows where to find Abraham Cornelius, thanks to Ogun, revealing that Cornelius has a secret laboratory in Paradise Valley, Wolverine decides to rig up some new claws to keep from using his own and walks into a gunfight with nothing but knives, and surprisingly, he wins. Once inside Cornelius' secret laboratory, the old memories come flooding back from his time in Weapon X. All this time, Cornelius has amassed a seemingly endless amount of scratch to keep fueling his experiments, and Wolverine pops in just in time to watch it go down. 3 different men and women being cut open and experimented on to become the next Wolverine. He wants to take Wolverine not for his adamantium, but for the one thing that makes the adamantium bonding process more successful, the healing factor. And wouldn't you know it, old Cornelius Cornelius has been making it rain for nothing. As Wolverine shows, his healing factor is gone. And now that he's of no use to him, Cornelius has his latest test subject, Major Sharp, attack Logan. But it doesn't go the way he hoped. They fight, yeah, sure, that does actually happen, but it doesn't take long for Major Sharp to turn on Cornelius and try and kill him. Thankfully for him, Wolverine has changed his ways and stopped Sharp and demands Cornelius turn off the machines that are butchering men and women and turning them into what he is. Cornelius refuses and bolts, with Wolverine going into a almost pseudo rage, and then does the only thing he can imagine that would stop the process. He slashes the adamantium alloy tanks to stop the bonding from occurring. The only problem is that the alloy, now that it's smelted, is super hot, making it liquid, and it is now falling down on top of him and burning him damn near to death. And to make matters worse, as this is happening, the metal's also slowly starting to harden. Now, even with all that going on, Wolverine still has the presence of mind to grab the 3 regen serums that are laying on the table next to these test subjects and injects each of them with it so that they can have a chance to live. Which I think that's kind of a big deal when you consider like the type of person Wolverine is. Cornelius doesn't get away scot-free, so don't worry about that. He was impaled by a sizable chunk of glass when Major Sharp broke the window to his control room, and now with an adamantium covered Wolverine cosplaying as the T-1000 chasing him down, and Cornelius is bleeding out and even his own men won't stop to help him escape, he's left to the mercy of Wolverine. But ever defiant, Cornelius demands Wolverine answer him, claiming that he tried to change the world. And what did Wolverine ever do but kill people? What did he ever do? Wolverine begins to reflect as the metal starts to harden around him, remembering Madripoor, Jean Grey, the military, Japan, his time as headmaster of the Jean Grey Institute for Higher Learning, and the X-Men. And before he can give Cornelius the answer, Cornelius is dead. Not that he'd have been able to answer him anyways. He just walks towards the light of the sunset, falls to his knees as he simply thinks about his answer being enough. And in a nutshell, that's roughly how Wolverine died. People keep coming up with these crackpot theories about how Wolverine, there's no way he could have died, he's immortal. Well, yes, he was immortal when he had a healing factor. All of these theories that people have about how he supposedly is still alive, these all are predicated on him having the healing factor, something that he did not have during this 4-issue run. Hell, he didn't have it for the last, I want to say, 6 or 7 issues of his own book before Death of Wolverine. We know he's alive now, but before Hunt for Wolverine and Return of Wolverine, during Death of Wolverine, he was legitimately dead as far as real time, not comic book time. He was dead for roughly about 4 years. But anyways, let me know what you thought about Death of Wolverine. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers and tap that bell so you know when I post up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you all next time. Plus Ultra!